Well, good morning and welcome to today's edition of Tennessee Valley This Morning. It's wonderful to be back with you. We've been away for a while, haven't we, Tommy?
We have. What a shame. What
I
a shame.
know.
Ratings are probably down
I bet they are.
because of that.
People have been writing in. I know Kim and Joe have just been getting inundated with people saying, "Where's Tommy and Tracy? Bring them back."
We're back.
They thought maybe we got fired, huh?
That could have been likely. So. But they brought us back.
They did finally, because of our viewers. You all helped bring us back. We appreciate it. It's just lovely to be here today. We're in the winter season here in Cleveland, Tennessee, and I know all the kids have been doing their little snow rituals, trying to bring up some snow and get those snow days, and probably the parents that are like us are saying, no, we need these kids to go to school.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. We'd rather them go, and maybe we could figure out a way where we could stay home.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? But anyways, we are flipping it a little bit today. We are so excited about both of our amazing guests that we have, and so we wanted to bring them right on because one of them has to rush off for work. He's a librarian.
Dedicated.
He's very dedicated here at Cleveland State, and he's got to get to his job, his day job. And then the other one is just an amazing person who is one of those people that I'm very much envy because he has an R in his current job title, which he is
retired.
He's retired, a retiree. I'm so envious. But we have just, I'm telling you, two amazing people, and we don't want to delay. So why don't we go ahead and introduce?
Sure. So with us today, we have Andy Foskey. Yes. And Andy works in our library. Tell us a little bit, Andy, about what you do. And
well, Cleveland State Library is a pretty small library, so we all do a lot of different things. My primary concerns at the library are staffing the reference desk, helping people find the things they need to do their assignments, and as well as maintaining the electronic presence of the library. And so if you're watching and you haven't been to the library before, come on down and see us. We're open to the public as well as the student body at Cleveland State. So.
That was going to be something I was going to ask, is whether or not our community members are welcome to come.
Yes, the community is welcome. You can even join the library as a friend of the library, and there is a small fee. I think it's about $5 per year if you want to check out books. But anybody's allowed to come and use our computers or talk to us and look at our microfilm. We have a whole lot of unique items, I think, at the Cleveland State Library, especially with that microfilm collection. So
that's a great service for folks. So if you're viewing out there and you have some research needs, or you just want the latest novel on the top 10 list, you can come in and take advantage of our services here.
Certainly, we'd be happy to see you and talk to you and share the library with you.
But the main reason we have you here today, Andy, is some really exciting news that we recently learned at Cleveland State about a grant that you applied for. You were the lead project director listed on that grant application, and I believe you have some good news to share with
we found out earlier this month. We applied back in August, I think, but we found out that we did receive the grant, and we're one of, I think, 800 institutions in the United States to get it. It was funded through the National Endowment for the Humanities as well as the American Library Association. And what it is the grant program is called Bridging Cultures, Muslim Journeys. And the Bridging Cultures program, they pick different cultures to highlight every year, and I think they've done Jewish voices, and now with this, looking into Islamic culture. And we got 25 free books from this grant, as well as some DVDs, and so that will help us. Anything that's free and of a high quality is great. We do get a lot of romance novels and stuff like that donated from the public. Not to say that you shouldn't donate if you're out there listening, but this is a selection of books that has been handpicked by a panel of librarians and other academic people. So we know that they're going to be very, interesting and high quality. They're going to match our collection policy at the library. We want to include information about all sorts of different cultures and histories and that kind of thing, as long as it is from an academic, a sort of objective standpoint. So all of the books on this list are sort of meet that caliber, I think.
And you brought some of those books today,
Yes,
didn't you?
And now this first one here is Persepolis, and this is a well-renowned graphic novel that details a young woman's life in Iran during some civil war there. And so she came of age during the civil war in Iran, and this follows her guide. And if you open it up, you can't see too much detail, but there's it's beautiful black and white imagery of her life, and it's been made into a film. It's a very well received film. It's a wonderful story, and this is actually one of our selections for the book club at the library this semester. So there's a few spots left. If you're a student out there, that's one thing that is limited to student participation. But Persepolis is going to be one of our books that we are highlighting, and I would definitely recommend, even if you're not in the book club, to check it out, because it's a wonderful story, and you do learn a lot about the history of that country.
So
And
what age
for
group?
for our students that are out there watching, this would be a good read. Particularly, it's written in a different format, not like most books. It's almost like a comic book style.
Yes, yeah,
I
the
would
graphic
describe
novel,
it.
comic. There's a fine line between, I guess, graphic novels and comic books, but this is, it's telling a story about her life. And you were asking about the age range. There's a sequel, which I think it details her college life and years later. So that might be, high school level, but this I think would be appropriate for middle school or high school. Yeah, it's a very compelling story, and it's a quick read. Like the graphic novels do, you're not committing to like Gone with the Wind or something. It's full of imagery, and that tells a lot of the story as well. This one is it's a very small book. It's Oxford University Press. They have a series called Very Short Introduction. And this is about Muhammad, who is one of the key figures in the Muslim religion. And these books, they are really tiny, but they do end up giving you, in just like a little bit over 100 pages, a really good insight to the subject matter. So it's beyond just a Wikipedia type entry, but that one is, providing you a quick authoritative introduction to the topic.
Looks like it's packed with
Yes.
just a lot of good
Oh, yeah.
information.
Yeah.
And then one of your DVDs.
Yeah, this is one of
the
our
Quran,
DVDs,
the
and
art.
we are going to be showing, we're having a film showing of one of the other DVDs, but this one is called Quran by Heart, and it's the story of these children who enter a contest reciting the Quran. It's almost like a spelling bee, but they're going to this international competition to see who can recite from memory the verses of the Quran. So it's a real heartwarming story.
That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you got.
This one is the poetry of Rumi. He's a mystical poet from Persia. He's I think that was 1300s, back before Iran is the present day as Persia. But Rumi is I read somewhere that he's the most popular poet in the United States.
Oh, really?
And I don't remember where I read that. I wish I had the citation, but I think based on Amazon sales, maybe he's the most popular poet. He's been dead for hundreds of years, but he's something about his poetry strikes a chord in our culture today. And he's from the mystical branch of Islam, so his poems are very, there's a lot of imagery and sort of all the different senses and sort of romantic poetry. So we're looking to have a poetry reading surrounding Rumi and other mystical poetry from that tradition as well.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
So here we have Prince Among Slaves.
Yes.
True story of an African prince sold into slavery in the American South. Sounds good.
Yeah, and it's one that doesn't, I had certainly never heard of it when I was in school. So I think it's a unique story about a African prince who was sold into slavery, as the title says, and he was a Muslim man from Africa, from the western part of Africa, and so this is bringing to light some of the that aspect of the slave trade that dealt with Muslim slaves, and he was actually freed later in life and was able to return to Africa before he died. So it's a very inspiring story. And one of the DVDs that we'll be receiving is a documentary about him.
So that's going to be really nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of the different programs that we've scheduled surrounding this grant. Part of receiving the bookshelf is that we are bound to present a selection of cultural programs to promote the book series, and so that is forthcoming. We have a lot of great stuff planned.
What are some of those events that are coming up?
Well, we have, let's see, I think it's February 20th is the Kadim Ensemble, and that's a wonderful Middle Eastern music ensemble from different countries in the Middle East, some Jewish performers and Muslim performers, I think some Christians as well, talking about intercultural communication and also, playing beautiful music together. And
For that program, do you know the time and location?
I was hoping that you would help me out with that.
I'll be glad to. It's going to take place at 1 p.m. in the Johnson Cultural Heritage Buildings and the theater that's located in that space. So it's free and open to the public, so we hope folks will come and just enjoy some amazing music. And if your time allows, after they do the concert, they'll do a workshop about working across differences.
Yes, and that one is coming up. There's also another one coming up sooner than that, isn't there? The lady from Appalachian is coming.
Yes, we have a diversity workshop too.
And so that's coming up. We're having in, I believe, March 25th at 2 p.m. in the library. A woman that I know from when I was in graduate school. She became a librarian in Cairo, at American University in Cairo. And she was there during the recent uprising during the Arab Spring. And so she has done talks since coming back to America, talking about her experiences in Egypt at that time. And so she's coming to share her experiences with us. That's going to be at 2 p.m. on March 25th at the library.
That's a Monday, I believe.
Yes, that is a Monday. And so she will be able to share her unique perspective. Her name is Amanda Click, and she's currently a PhD student at the University of Chapel Hill, or University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
So I'm really excited about her talk and presentation and hearing about her firsthand accounts of what was going on there.
Yeah, and I haven't seen her since I graduated, so I'm very looking forward to catching up and seeing how our paths have taken us in very different directions.
So these, you have these programs, but what do you think is important for our campus and the wider community to apply for this campus?
When I initially saw the invitation to apply for the grant, I thought it would be a great fit for Cleveland State for two main reasons. And we are not, to say this delicately, the most diverse population in the Cleveland area. And so I thought this would be a wonderful opportunity to introduce, in a very kind of sort of gentle way, some aspects of a culture that's very foreign to some of our students. And I think especially recent events in and around the South related to sort of acts of hate or violence towards Muslims or potential Muslim institutions like the Islamic Center in Murfreesboro. There was a lot of resistance to that. And so I'm hoping that through having these books available and having some programs that people might think twice before casting scorn upon entire culture.
Right.
And Cleveland State is also listed somewhere as being a very military-friendly college. And I thought of all of our students that maybe had done time or served our country in Afghanistan or Iraq, coming back and having a broader understanding of the cultures that they experienced there.
I think that's a wonderful thing. Now, when I look at these books, being one who loves books and libraries, I can tell it looks like they're not processed yet and ready for circulation. When do you anticipate that people can start coming and enjoying these wonderful books in the collection?
Hopefully by the middle of next month, because we are still waiting on a couple more things to come in. And then as soon as they are processed by our staff up at the library, they'll be available for checkout. And we do another thing I wanted to mention. We have a beautiful display of items in the library right now that are from different Muslim countries that our library staff had brought together. So we have library staff that's very well traveled. And so we have some artifacts and other things from some of those countries. So you can come see it at the library. Come check out the books and see our display and learn more about the programs.
Very good. Well, we encourage you to keep watching. All of these programs that Andy mentioned will be advertised in the local paper and on the chamber website. That is it called One Calendar, I believe. We always advertise things from Cleveland State on that calendar as well. So go there to check the dates, and it would be wonderful to have everyone out there watching come and support and learn more, because this is just an amazing way to get more information about the Middle East and Muslim culture and broaden our perspectives and our understanding. Andy, what else do you want to share about the grant process, the books, the programs coming up?
Well, it's been a very enlightening process to learn about what it takes to apply for a grant, and it helped me very much, Tracy, with applying for the grant, as well as our Michelle Anderson, our grants coordinator on campus. So it wasn't just me that is to thank for this, and also the library staff for all of their work helping me with processing the materials and getting all the events lined up and everything. So I've had a lot of help with the process, and it's been wonderful to feel that support from my coworkers. And I do hope that people will come and look at these things.
Mm-hmm.
They are, like I said, the community members can join the library as well. So these are going to be available for everyone to use. And we're also going to have an online database of Islamic studies, the Oxford Islamic Studies database. And we're still working on setting that up. That will be coming next month as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, lots going on, wonderful opportunities through the Bridging Cultures Muslim Journeys opportunity that the college has been afforded. We hope you'll take advantage. And with that, Andy, time flies, doesn't it? You thought it was going to be long and laborious.
Yeah, I had
look,
notes
you're
and
already,
everything.
you're at the end. You're at the end of the taping time.
Awesome.
You all stay there. When you come back, we'll have another handsome male guest joining us, and we'll keep on with our literary theme. And this one's a little bit different, so you definitely don't want to touch that down. We'll see you back here at Tennessee Valley this morning in just a few minutes.
Logan Thompson, attorneys at law, have built a firm offering quality legal services to the people and businesses of Southeast Tennessee. We have achieved expertise in all areas of law in order to represent our clients in a manner they need, deserve, and have come to expect. Logan Thompson, with 9 attorneys and an extensive and competent support staff, is available to provide representation in various legal areas, including family law, Social Security benefits, personal injury, criminal defense, workmen's compensation, as well as business and complex litigation matters. At Logan Thompson, we have been building a tradition of legal services for over 40 years. We have developed the finest legal services and are proficient in providing you with representation you can trust. Give us a call at 423-476-2251 to schedule your free consultation.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy.
Good morning and welcome back to today's edition of Tennessee Valley This Morning. And as I promised you, we have yet another very handsome male that has joined us here on stage, a handsome young man, I should say, Mr. Alexander Delt, who is all of 90 years young, is with us.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're so glad that you could be here today.
Thank you.
On a nice, young, handsome retiree getting up bright and early to be on our show. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
For 22 years, you were a faculty member at Cleveland State.
Yes, 21 years.
21. Mm-hmm. I was trying to add another one on. And how's retired life?
I stay busy.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure
I
you
find
do.
many things to do to keep me interested.
That's good. And one of the things you've been busy with is one of the reasons that you're here.
Right.
So you wrote a book.
I wrote a book.
And tell us about this book.
All right, this book is entitled Memories of Yesteryear. It deals with rural life in America between the 1920s and the 1930s. Of course, I was born in 1922, so I grew up during that era between the two great wars. And I remember very much what life was like before all of the modern amenities have come about that we're so accustomed to as a part of life today. I see this book as a personal look back into history. It's pretty much the same all over rural America at that time. There might have been some differences locale in various locales, but overall people lived, life went on much the same throughout much of the country of that period. And this book describes various aspects of life during that time. If you'd like me to give sort of a rundown of the contents.
Sure.
We first look at the lack of modern heating and cooling. Second, we look at the old T model, the cars of the day.
Uh-huh.
Then we go from that to the telephone,
Okay.
the old wall crank phones, and the early days of radio.
Mm-hmm.
The next unit kind of brings a smile, but certainly brings back a lot of memories, the outhouse.
Oh, my. I'm glad I missed that era.
Well, that was very much a part of everyday life for people then.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to 2 units dealing with the lack of modern conveniences.
Mm-hmm.
The things that we take for granted in the kitchen, the laundry, and all of that we didn't have back then. We look at something very common to most American youth of that time, milking the cow.
Yeah.
Then there is a unit on the country church, the country school, the country community. Then we look at clothing of that time and foods of that time.
See.
And lastly, common practices of that day regarding illness and death.
Okay.
So that covers, there are 14 units in.
And that pretty much covers life.
It
You
pretty much
hit it
covers
all,
life
don't
of
you?
that time. Yes, it does. And from a personal standpoint, there's some bits of humor in it, but again, very factual.
Now, tell us about what inspired you to write this
Well,
book.
actually, I begun writing it thinking that my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, of whom I have a tribe, had no concept of what life was like when Granddaddy grew up.
Uh-huh.
And so I begun writing. Wrote most of it. The Cleveland Daily Banner published it on a serial basis in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And it created enough interest that I decided to put it in book form.
Very
So
nice.
here it is.
So here you are now with beautiful hardbound and softbound
They have both the
copies
hardback
that are
and the
available.
softback. The hardback sells for $18, the softback for $14. Personally autographed for whatever that might be worth.
And I know just last week was our Tommy's dad's birthday, and we gave him, you were kind enough at a book signing on our campus to sign one for his dad. And we gave it to him for his birthday gift, and he
Good.
was so thrilled to get
He's
that.
looking forward to reading that.
Good.
So it
Older
makes a
people,
great gift, those of you watching, if you've got loved ones that you think might enjoy it. It's not a big, huge book, very good read.
older people enjoy it because they enjoy nostalgia, being able to look back on what things were like when they were young. And I hope it's informative to the younger generation what we lived like in those days.
And they need to know those things. We
Of
haven't
course.
always had a world with cell phones and iPads and all these other gadgets and indoor plumbing.
Right.
Those things, especially electronic, were far in the future, basically unthought of. I remember the first days of television. I remember, of course, the coming of the computer and all of the changes that those things, as well as much more modern technology, have brought about.
So what do you think is one of the biggest changes you've seen over the decades, and how does that change impact our younger generations?
Change in so many different areas has come about. The rural community of my day as a youth was pretty well self-contained. We did not go very far because of distance. We had some communication with the telephone, radio, but limited. And of course today we see a global aspect in today's world, whereas the other part of the world, Spain, England, France, that was somewhere over across the water. I look back at those years they were, of course, the years prior to and during the Great Depression. They also were the years prior to World War II, which time this country had an isolationist attitude. We didn't want to get involved in another European war. In result, we were very unprepared when World War II came along. We were sort of like the old ostrich in the sand. We just didn't think we would ever get involved in another war, and of course it came.
Right. Well, what do you think, to me, when I think about forms of communication, one of the things I'm mourning is the loss of letter writing.
I think it's deplorable. The loss of letter writing, and I am told that some of our public schools are no longer teaching cursive writing,
I've heard
which
that
to me
too.
is utterly ridiculous. Because many of our national documents, I saw the Emancipation Proclamation just yesterday on a televised program, written in cursive. How are they going to read it if they don't know cursive?
Exactly. It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is. It disturbs me. And I find that after having taught here 21 years, many of our students coming in here are well versed in technology, but they are poorly equipped in writing skills, history, and those basic areas. It concerns me.
And you taught what classes?
Public speaking.
Public speaking.
For many years.
Now, how do you feel in terms of where today's generation is compared with your era growing up? Do you feel like our kids are giving enough opportunities before they get to you to get up in front of a group and make speeches and have
Some
to think
have.
about those?
Some have not. Of course,
Sure.
public speaking here is a beginning course, and many of them take it because they have to. I think it's a course that should be required simply because in today's world, you need to comfortably be able to be before even a small audience.
I agree.
Let me add something else here, Tracy. I have done quite a good many book signings this fall, and enjoy doing them. I'm happy to do them for any group that might like me to do so, small groups, churches, schools, or what have you.
How would they go about scheduling a book
Just
signing?
to contact me directly. My phone number, of course, it's a Cleveland number, 423-472-2664. And incidentally, you may purchase copies of the book directly calling me at my home. I'll be happy to make them available to you.
Well, Steve,
I also would like to make myself available to address school groups or any other groups that have an interest in this period of time.
That's good.
So great first-hand account for those educators out there. You know, sometimes when we're standing up there, I was in another meeting where I was talking about, you know, a prophet is not welcome in their own country, their own town. And when we bring someone from the outside in to talk about some of those same things that we might be trying to share, the eyes just go, it's like someone went and flipped the switch and the light bulb got turned on. So to invite Mr. Delt, who has that first-hand experience at his 90 young years, to come and share about that era and those periods with your classes or youth groups at church or your congregation or civic organization would just be a phenomenal thing. And he's just delightful, easy to work with. I've had the opportunity to work with him on trying to get a book signing couple for our campus, and just delightful and easy to work with.
I had the pleasure in high school of doing a project on, and the project I chose was to recount the one-room school that was over in Birchwood, Tennessee. And some of my elder family members, you know, were involved in that.
Right.
Or you talk about the one-room school?
Oh, yes. In fact, my wife was teaching in a one-room school when we married in 1947.
Really?
And I saved her from that when I married her. But it's amazing, actually, that one teacher could handle all 8 grades. And many of them did it admirably well. I didn't go to a one-room school. I went to a 3-room school. But a lot of things were much the same in those days.
Very nice. Now, you mentioned people can call you to get the book, but if I want to just buy one at a store or somewhere like that, are they available here in our community?
Well, yes. If not, will be. They are already advertised on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and several other websites.
So those of you that love doing the online shopping have that wonderful resource available.
It's a little less expensive through me personally than they'll pay on there, but yes, it's available online. It will be, I think, in some of the bookstores in this area. If it is yet, I'm not sure.
Now, I think you have it available here at Cleveland State.
It's in
their bookstore. So
it's in the Cleveland State bookstore. It's at the 5 Point Museum Center. It's at the Red Ribbon here in town. All of those have copies of it.
So some really great places that you could swing in, grab a copy. Now, the only disadvantage to that, you lose the benefit of having Mr. Delt autograph it.
Yes.
Personally. And
I'm not there to autograph it.
That's just a priceless addition when you get his autograph.
The advantage, of course, is calling me personally, as I said, at 472-2664. I'll be more than happy to autograph books for anyone who so desires.
And it's a nice touch. I know when my father-in-law opened his and saw it signed to Frank, and that was just a nice touch to have.
He said he's reached that point in age where when he sees these antique shows on TV where they go pick stuff out of old barns, he says he can remember, I had one of those, or my grandfather had that, you know.
Definitely so.
And he gets to visualize your book basically like that. You know, it's the same way when you see the TV shows and you see that history.
Now, who do you think benefits the most from reading Memories of Yesteryear?
Well, I think it's enjoyable to the older generation simply because of nostalgia. But it certainly should be informative to the younger generation, and that's why I started writing it, so that my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, children to a point, but primarily the still younger ones, would know more about what life was like in those years of long ago, yesteryear as I call it.
And they need to know,
They certainly need to know.
because they're living in a very, very different time. The pace is different, the things available are different.
Well, I remember when we got electricity.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
tell us about
Bill-
that.
Well, I was 10 years old, but I still remember the lamps that we used and the heating, the lighting in the churches and schools of that time and all, you know. We just didn't think anything about it until we got electricity, and then it was just amazing to me as a 10-year-old that you could flip a switch and get a light. But you know, that we just take that for granted, of course. And then too, all of the electrical appliances which we depend upon so much were non-existent in those days.
Did you heat with coal or did you heat with wood?
Both.
Worked your way through it.
Both.
That's what my grandparents did.
And of course the wood had to be supplied from the woods themselves, the forest, cut into wood stove lengths or fireplace lengths.
Right.
That's where the boys come in.
Now, how many in your family?
I actually
brothers and
have a
sisters?
little bit of an unusual setting. My father died 2 months before I was born as a result of World War I injuries. And I was raised largely by my maternal grandparents. My mother married again, had a large family. Very close to her, but I lived with my grandparents until I was grown.
Very neat. Well, Mr. Dell, we probably should give your number again in case folks want to contact you about a book signing or coming to speak to a class or a group or purchasing a book from you.
Thank you.
Because we're coming to the end of your segment, and I want to make sure folks can get in contact with you if they want to.
They're certainly free to call me at any time, and I'll be happy to talk with them, set up a schedule or whatever with them.
So
Wonderful.
that number was
472-2664.
472-2664.
Yes.
So please give Mr. Delt a call. He's very accessible, as I said earlier, wonderfully easy to work with, and he's down to earth. He's just down to earth.
Well, thank you.
And he'll make it fun and engaging for whatever group. He knows how to tailor it for the age group that he's speaking to. So.
Thank you, Tracy.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for getting up bright and early, Mr. Retiree, to come and be with us.
Old people get up early.
Well, good. You know, I guess with my birthday that happened last week, I can say I'm not old because I don't like to get up really early. A 9 o'clock get up time, it suits me just fine. So I struggle on these mornings to be here, but I enjoy the opportunity. And having the chance to interview wonderful people like you makes
Well,
this
thank you.
worth getting up with the chickens. So thank you again, Mr. Dell. We appreciate your time this morning.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to wrap it up, and we got lots of wonderful information to share with you.
Now come.
Logan Thompson, attorneys at law, have built a firm offering quality legal services to the people and businesses of Southeast Tennessee. We have achieved expertise in all areas of law in order to represent our clients in a manner they need, deserve, and have come to expect. Logan Thompson, with 9 attorneys and an extensive and competent support staff, is available to provide representation in various legal areas, including family law, Social Security benefits, personal injury, criminal defense, workmen's compensation, as well as business and complex litigation matters. At Logan Thompson, we have been building a tradition of legal services for over 40 years. We have developed the finest legal services and are proficient in providing you with representation you can trust. Give us a call at 423-476-2251 to schedule your free consultation.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy.
Welcome back. I just love that new little tune, don't you?
It's real catchy.
It
you
is.
kind of get your groove on
I
during
do, and they caught me this time because I didn't stop quick enough, but I just love it.
Is that your snow dance? Is that what you hope during the winter?
Well, I do want one good snow. I will not lie. One good one that close, and I'd like to have a day off from work. Just one good one.
I understand.
You know, that hasn't happened since I've started working at a place here in Cleveland, Tennessee that might allow for a snow day for its employees. I started working there and they never had one again. And before that, they had some on occasion. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm feeling like I'm getting cheated.
Well, they say, a lot of the old timers say that in winter, if the winter comes in like a lamb, it'll go out like a lion. So we had an easy intro to winter. Maybe it'll gear up and we'll have all kinds of snow. And you'll have all these days off.
Well, just one good one is what I'm asking for. But we'll see if it happens or not. If not, I'll be content with what, because I don't control any of that. So I'll just have to be content, won't I?
You'll just have to live with it.
Mm-hmm. But one good one is for the K-12 kids out there. I'm right there rooting for you for one good one.
One good day.
But that's it. I don't need just a whole series.
You probably get picky and ask for it to be on a Friday, too.
No, I don't want mine on a Friday. I want it to happen like a Wednesday, a Thursday. Thursday would be nice if it's a good one, so we get Thursday, Friday.
There you go.
Saturday, Sunday off.
All the way.
And maybe it's enough that we get Monday, too. Not trying to be greedy or anything.
I understand.
Well, you know, a week ago this time, a bunch of folks from Cleveland State were doing something pretty amazing.
They were, and I guess you would say it would be our intro into a day on instead of a day off for the MLK holiday, and what an amazing day. 6 community agencies from the 5-county area that we serve had the chance to work with some Cleveland State students and staff and faculty and administrators, and just a real good way to get back to the community.
It really was, and it's nice to join a coalition of hundreds of colleges and universities across the country that are doing this type of day of service to honor the life of Martin Luther King Jr. And it's something that his wife, Coretta Scott King, prior to her death, and others, John Lewis, Jesse Jackson, who were advocating so strongly. And Harry Belafonte, for a day to celebrate Dr. King, but they didn't want it just to be a day where you just went shopping or stayed at home and slept light, but to do something that really reflected the life of Martin Luther King and so many others who gave so much during the civil rights movement.
There's a great way to look at that too, and we of course talked to the students on that day, is that a lot of planning went into taking care of putting all of that together, but there's always going to be a little hiccup along the way, and as you well know, we were able to tell the students and those leading the groups, that's just part of the challenge, and think about the challenge that took place when the civil rights era was going on, and if Dr. King had just got tired, what would have happened. So very, very good way to relay that to the students.
It was really just a neat opportunity. We served folks at the Habitat for Humanity by helping them get their Bike to Build signs out. And so that event is coming up in April. It's never too early to think about putting together your team.
Correct.
And so you should now be seeing those posters out, thanks in part to students and faculty from Cleveland State that went around to different businesses and asked for permission to hang those. So when you go into business, I know we had dinner that evening at Gondoliers, and as we were walking in, I saw the sign and it made me smile because we were pretty exhausted from a full day, but it made me smile knowing that one of our teams was the one responsible for hanging that sign, which I don't know how many of you out there have to go around and hang signs in the community for events that you're having. That is a laborious task. It wears you down.
They had a good leader on that team.
They did. Dr. Hyde himself, president of the college, served as one of our group leaders, and that was his team that he led.
Did you put him on that because we wouldn't need a ladder?
Yes, that was part of my thinking with that. And then we had a team that worked with the Tri-State Therapeutic Writing Center, and they helped clear a portion. They didn't get quite finished because of the timing, and it's hard work out there clearing a pasture, but they helped clear a portion of a 4-acre pasture to get it ready for horses to be able to migrate, so they need to move them around so they're not constantly on the same pasture.
Right.
And then in the afternoon, they were really excited because some of the kids that they provide the therapeutic writing sessions with were able to come in because it was a snow day for the kids. Well, I mean, no school day, no snow that day.
An off day.
But a hholiday. And so they came in for a writing session, and our students and faculty members and staff members that were with that team had the chance to work with that group on a writing lesson.
Yeah, amazing. They had a lot of challenge. They also partnered with another Southern Adventist University, I think, came and helped with that some too. So they had a chance to meet some new people, make some new friends, but also give back to the students that could be helped with that Therapeutic Writing Center. So very good day.
Then we had a group all the way to Tellico Plains, the just beautiful mountainous area. If you haven't been up there, you need to go. But they work with the Keep Monroe Beautiful organization, and they started off as the elementary school there and did some landscape, and it was fun talking with one of the students. She said, I'm a city girl, I don't do manual labor like this, but she was doing it and doing it very well, scooping up the mulch and putting it in a wheelbarrow and driving it down and dumping it and moving railroad ties and getting those in place, and they worked hard.
They did.
They were tireless with their efforts. And then they went over to the junior high school, which is not very far, and did a similar project. They had some pavers they had to put out. And boy, the transformation of those two spaces at the end of the day, for them to be able to look back. And these are projects that these agencies have had on their docket and to-do list that they would just needed a nice sized group that had several hours. It's not the kind of thing you can run in and do for an hour and call it done. They needed a group that could come in and tackle it for several hours successfully.
Right. And we had a group in McMinn, and they assisted with making some boards, some memory boards.
Yes.
They met at the Baptist church, at the church there.
for the Amedisys Hospice group.
Yes, for the hospice group, creating memory boards for these folks, and it was really neat how you could kind of take those photographs, and we've all wanted to do that probably and take the time to do it with, but they did, and even the people working with the participants were saying that they learned a lot. So.
And those boards will really aid the residents as well as their caregivers and family members in helping individuals with dementia and Alzheimer and holding on to some things that are important. And Ms. Dodge that we work with there was explaining that you might have a day where someone's having one of those off days, particularly when they're at the onset stage, and maybe they are frustrated with themselves because they can't tell you what they have for breakfast. And it might just be 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning that you're speaking with them. But with that memory board, you could say, well, you know, Sally, I understand that you used to love to go fishing, and they might be able to remember that and get perked up again and launch into stories about that time. And it makes them feel worth and value. So it was just really exciting to know that our students and faculty and staff were contributing to something that's going to mean so much to those individuals who have this debilitating disease.
Right.
And then we also had a group working at the YMCA there in Monroe, and it's physically located in Athens, and they had these raised bed community garden plots that they had to clear, and they also had a lot of mulch and topsoil that they had to put down, and worked hard there as well and made a tremendous difference with those raised bed gardens in that whole area.
A lot of physical labor, but these folks can take these beds. I think there were about 30 beds, raised beds there, and community members can rent those beds for about $25 for the year, and they're even supplied the seeds to grow their crops, and just makes for a real neat community partnership.
And then our last group was at the McMinn Senior Citizens Center, and they've recently acquired a house that's adjacent to their property, and that group had the responsibility of deep cleaning the house. They had to paint, they had to get contact paper and put it in cabinets and drawers, and then they also needed an indoor-outdoor carpet for a screened-in porch area, and they needed a space heater for that area. And then when they got there, they also determined that they needed a dining table and some chairs. And that group, I tell you, worked like little soldiers. They didn't quite get it all, because that was probably the largest project by scope and nature. But boy, what they accomplished by the end of the day, and we had some real go-getters, some young people on that team that don't mind going out and asking and negotiating and getting some deals and getting things donated. And they got the carpet donated at the end of the day. They came back with a ridiculous deal on a dining table. It was used, granted, but a ridiculous deal from what the owners wanted for it, and chairs. And it really made a nice difference at that particular site.
It did. It was a good project, very good project.
So very exciting day for Cleveland State, having that day of service, and that was just a good day.
It was.
And then I hear, Tommy, right, that it's cookie time.
It's cookie time. It's Girl Scout cookie time.
It is. Is there any other kind of cookie time?
That's the only time.
It's
Girl
the
Scout.
only Girl Scout cookies. I know most of you, if you've seen the show, me on the show before, you know I am a Girl Scout leader and a proud member of the Dakota Service Unit team. And I have the privilege of being the one that trains all our leaders and how to train their parents for the cookie sale. And I take it serious. I'm pretty serious and hardcore about it.
Yep.
Tommy would know. He's been a cookie dad before and has had to go through some of my training sessions. But this year I'm really excited because the council has introduced a new means of making sure that no one should be saying, I haven't been contacted, where can I get my cookies? My daughter's selling them. She loves selling. She has a goal of 1,000 this year. I can't believe she set this goal. Tommy, right, you're going to have to help her make it.
Yes.
But,
buy cookies.
Yes, please buy cookies. But if you don't know a Girl Scout and are having trouble, there's now a website you can go to. It's iwantcookies.org. Easy enough, iwantcookies.org. And it can all lower caps. And what you do when you go there, it brings up a page and you can type in just your zip code. Or if you happen to know a specific troop number, you could put that in and get connected with that troop. But if you just put in your zip code, the council will get you connected with a Girl Scout group in your county. Isn't that cool?
That's really nice.
It really
convenient.
is. I mean, technology is good. I mean, we go from Mr. Delt's days where you couldn't do this, and you had just the girls went door to door, and that was a safe thing to do. But now we know we live in different times, and one of the main goals is to make sure we're keeping our girls safe. And this is a wonderful, safe way for those of you that don't have a means, a Girl Scout in your neighborhood or church or whatever, your circle, just go to that website, I want cookies with an S on the end, .org. And you can get a Girl Scout group that will contact you.
Or if you want to help our daughter out, call one of us.
Yes, we'll get you connected. And then we want to make sure you know about some wonderful events that are going to happen at Cleveland State and in our community coming up soon. The first that I'll talk about is the clandestine relationships. And Mr. Darrell Davis, who is an African-American male, was able to infiltrate this Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, and so much to the point that he befriends a person who was a Grand Wizard. That person ends up denouncing the Klan and withdrawing, and he donates his robe and his hood to Darrell. And when you come, we'll say that. When you come to this program, Darrell will have those artifacts on hand. It's a multimedia presentation. He's been on national TV shows, so he'll bring some footage and show that. He's an accomplished musician, so those of you that love music, he's going to play a few tunes for you. So that's going to take place on Tuesday, February the 19th at 7 p.m., and it's in the George R. Johnson Cultural Heritage Building in the theater located there. You don't want to miss that. You know, this will be my third time to hear him, and he has packed spaces. We've had to turn people away before for this particular program. And then on February the 8th, we're having on campus from 12:30 to 4:30 p.m. Miss Susan King, who is the coordinator of educational outreach at Appalachian State University, who's coming to do a workshop on working across differences. So that's another wonderful thing. And then last but not least, it's time for the bowl-a-thon for junior achievement. And they're looking for some teams. I know some of you are out there are great bowlers and very competitive. Come and see if you can go home with the trophy. You need a team of 5. And the kickoff luncheon for this event is taking place on February the 5th at the Outback Steakhouse from 11 to 1. So if you're interested in learning more about the dates, you can attend that kickoff, or you can watch the newspapers or check out the Junior Achievement website, and you can learn more there. So lots of great things happening in our community. Don't say you're bored.
Plenty of things to do. As always, check out the chamber calendar. Always options there, but plenty of things happening on Cleveland State's campus as well, and Lee and other places. So get out, enjoy your community, and see what all's happening.
Wonderful. Well, it's great, Tommy, being back on the air and having the chance to co-host with you again. And
likewise.
We'll look forward to the last Monday in February. We'll be back, but tomorrow, tune in for Tennessee Valley This Morning, because you know our host will be here with a great docket of guests, and you don't want to miss it. It's been great seeing you again. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us here on Tennessee Valley This Morning.
Bye-bye.